Hi all, my name is Owen. I'm a sophomore here at Simon's Rock, and I'm running to be your student government president in the upcoming election. Following the move to Messina, I was deeply frustrated, as all of us were, by the circumstances we were placed under by both BARD and our own administration. I remember my friends and I feeling stranded in trying to navigate all the layers of bureaucracy and exhausted from trying to chase answers that didn't seem to exist. We all knew we deserved better, but I and so many others didn't have the avenues to join together and demand change. When the opportunity came to represent us to the Board of Overseers, I applied because I knew my background in political advocacy back home, where I routinely spoke in front of the city council for my home city of more than 100,000 people and worked with the mayor to develop strategies to include young people in the political process, gave me the skills necessary to represent us to the board. When I got the job, I put in hours of work with faculty who had previously attended board meetings to frame our concerns in a way that would make the board more receptive to them, especially given for how long our concerns had gone on deaf ears. In addition, as I'm sure many of you remembered, I polled the student body to hear in your words what you wanted to change. Using your quotes, I took our concerns to the board, and I communicated to them that those living on Messina like I did deserved livable facilities and real activities, that all of us deserved equal treatment on BARD's campus for meals, academics, and clubs, and that Academy students deserved substantially more chaperoned outings and time off campus. When a member of the board stated that he felt like it was okay to let BARD clubs exclude Simon's Rock students to respect their independence, I reasserted that as college students, we are entitled to the same access to clubs as anyone else, and President Botstein agreed. As I'm sure you've noticed this semester, BARD has been more welcoming to us in its including of students from Simon's Rock on its mailing lists, welcoming us at the club fair, and allowing flexibility with meal plans that were previously incredibly rigid. Following that meeting, I kept working with the administration to establish real student government and co-led the push to scaffold a new student government structure that worked for Messina to ensure that our voices would be heard in a real, organized way, resulting in the elections that you will be voting on Monday. I also met with BARD student government leaders to let them know what we wanted here in terms of club funding, and walked away from that meeting with a solid mutual understanding that we would be allowed to be included in BARD clubs and potentially establish a cross-school funding system to allow Simon's Rock students to attend BARD clubs, trips, and events. All of this is to say that I know what it takes to advocate for our needs when the administration isn't listening, and that now that they have started to, I will continue to fight just as hard for the needs of our student body. For those living on Messina, I will advocate and finalize a system for funding our clubs so that they could thrive and have access to the resources that they deserve. For sophomores and those living on main campus, I will continue to push for a fuller integration into BARD and advocate for academic clarity when it comes to moderation and matriculation. Most importantly, I will listen to the student body and ensure that never again is any individual student left on their own struggling to advocate for their own needs. Lastly, I'd like to address a concern that I know has been expressed by many. Yes, I'm here in Montserrat. I took this opportunity because it aligned with my academic path in geography and environmental studies, and I will be back after spring break, meaning that if elected, I would have to remotely attend 5 student government meetings. I understand that for many of you, this is a primary concern, and I get that. All I can say is that just like last semester, I will continue to poll the student body to get a sense of everyone's concerns, not just those I know in person, and my inbox will remain open always. In addition, when the BARD Chief Financial Officer comes down here to Montserrat in a few weeks for a board meeting and to assess the state of our program here, I will do my best, elected or not, to represent our school and its worth as an incredibly unique and valuable college for so many of us. Being here has not and will not stop me from fighting for our school, its students, and the programs that make it special. With that being said, thank you so much for listening, and I hope that I can earn your vote come Monday in the Messina Library or via an absentee ballot which can be obtained by emailing Lydia.